Good morning. I would like to ask for my paper. My name is Pavel Dostál. I have three functions. The first one is in Greenville organization that deals with the performance of green roofs. Then it's Zelené střechy, greenroof.info. I'm the president of the association. And the third one is the European Federation of Green Roofs and Walls. I start with a short story. You don't know this picture. This is Plaza de Lisboa, the sports place in Lisboa in Portugal. It comes from 1837. This picture is 100 years later. Before, the place was a horse market place, then it became a marketplace, and the place was developing, and it's in the very center of Porto, at the coastline of at the side of the square. There's a historical building. Also, the needs of the city were developing. Here you can see that there are already some cars driving. So there was a need to clean the cars somewhere away, and there is also a social function. So the original layout of the square is gone, and the new project was created. The marketplace was preserved, and there we have underground parking and some greenery. And as time goes, there was the need to adjust the square, so the reconstruction took place. So this beautiful shopping center grew up. On the top of the roof there's a huge park where they replanted olive trees, very old, like about 150 years old, and there's a rooftop city, we can say. Those who were in Porto could see that there is the need for the greenery in the city center. And the historical building is still present there. In Bratislava, there's also a project that originally had a function correspondent to that time, but currently there's a project called Nivi Shopping Center, and there is the rooftop garden that is publicly accessible. So I wanted to illustrate the development of the cities depending on the need that should be included in the architecture. And considering the climate change and our feeling in the cities, we need the nature to be healthy, to feel well. So we need more greenery and to avoid overheating of cities. Why to support green roofs? There were many reasons mentioned here already. We did 2 economic studies with the University of Ústí nad Labem. It was based on benefit analyses that measured costs or expenses and also the rentability of the costs invested. What are the financial benefits, and also indirect and direct benefits? Indirect benefits, for example, cooling, irrigation, some retention tank, or a green roof, or some sound insulation. So these were all factors that were involved in the study. So this is the picture of an intensive green roof on a residence house. So the lifespan was 15 years. This is another study. It's from an administrative building in Brno, Titanium Brno. The green roof is located on underground parking. In the first scenario, that is real, where there is the green roof on the car park, it provides certain benefits such as cooling effect, so that the rentability is a bit longer. And if we put the green roof on into the second column, focus on the second column here, if we put the green roof on high rooftop, for example, as in this shopping center in Bratislava, it will require 12 years to make it rentable. Green roofs are very dynamic field. Nowadays, I want to capture this development, and together with EFB, we created a project, Green Market Report, that monitors the increases of green roofs and green facades in European cities. You can also find reports, online reports that have been published from Austria, Germany, Czech Republic, and some other. And I hope that soon we will see the report from the Slovak market. This is a report from Czech Republic called Green Roofs in Czech Republic. It can be freely downloaded. There are many interesting data about trends and presuppositions, some regulatory environment in the Czech Republic, so I highly recommend it. And the most valuable data is, of course, the annual increase in the amount of green roofs. It means how many meters squares of green roofs were created in Czech Republic annually. We can see each year it is there is an increase, a certain percentage of increase, and when we reflect the development with some interesting events in the Czech market in this field, we can say that in 2001 there was a huge project of about 14,000 meters square in Prague. Then we have another great project in the green roofs of an extensive character. In 2013 we were established as an association, and then we joined EFB. In 2014 we established, we were awarded the Green Roof of the Year. In 2015 we were included in the national strategy of adaptation in the Czech Republic. In 2016 we published the first edition of standards for the Czech Republic, and they became a qualitative benchmark and requirement for the subsidy program Green for green roofs, and it is the subsidy provided in the Czech Republic. In 2019 we revised the standards in the second edition, and the first subsidy program in Brno was created. In 2020 there was the first zoning plan that required green roofs on the flat roofs in Brno, Říčany. And this year there's a discount on sewerage payment for those buildings who have green roofs. I guess that here in Slovakia all the buildings have to do this payment, if I'm right. So in our republic it's just public buildings and business buildings. So if these buildings have green roof, they have some discounts in this payment. And all this has happened throughout 10 years, and it's quite a short time. I think that the market is really dynamic, and we will see how we will end up in 10 years. What I would like to point out in this graph is also the addition of Czech standards. I think that it was one of the most important catalyzers in the development of the market, because some qualitative standard you can lean on is very needed. I guess we couldn't be proud of our green roofs without having these standards. We need to have good standards so that the green roofs are of a great quality and they are working well. So I hope that your Slovak standards will be finished soon. It requires much work, and I hope that it will definitely help the market. So the main topic, the possibilities or the options for the support of green roofs in Europe. Here you can see the clear essence of how to support green roofs. It is divided into direct support. It means some direct subsidy or contribution, and the indirect one is the other support on the national or local level. You can also see some icons like sugar and beet, wheat, sorry. The sugar one is motivational, and the wheat is regulative. For example, in Portugal there is a similar program donating or supporting financially the green roofs, and the programs are supported by a fixed amount of money, and they support the green buildings. Another possibility how to promote green roofs is the legislation. In Germany, for example, there's a Nature Protection Act established. It means that if the developer builds up buildings on a certain amount of the nature of the green space, he should make a balance and compensate it, for example, on site or on another part, and this compensation may be provided on another place. For example, the investor will donate to a national park, for example, the case in France. Another way how legislation can help green roofs is also dealing with rainwater. In Slovakia is the same as in Czech Republic. The owner of the property must deal with the rainwater on the land. What's the benefit of the green roof is that the water is retained on the green roof, so you don't need to use or pay for the water that is being run off to the wastewater management plant. There are also some technical standards. There are rather recommendations. Norms are more obligatory. Financial contributions for the execution at the communal level. There are some programs with some funds provided. Also the discounts to the discounts in sewerage payment. Towns, for example, have a fixed rate of money for water and sewerage. In Czech Republic, we have this set up at the national level. Then there could be a discount from the real estate taxes. And what's very effective is zone planning or territorial planning with an effective tool with low costs. Of course, the number of green roofs is increasing, but the investor is pushing on the costs. It is reflected also in the quality. So there might be a decrease in the quality of green roofs. So it's a little bit tricky. Here are some examples of European cities promoting green roofs in different ways. For example, Linz, first they motivated and then regulated it through zone planning. Copenhagen, there were huge problems with rainfalls. Then they stated that many roofs must be green. Hamburg, they have a very developed green strategy, and also Brno subsidy program since 2019. And here are several cities that promote green roofs, but there are much more. This is the picture from a London roof. Dusty was talking about it, from an investment bank. Dusty in action. This is an extensive green roof from Prague. As you can see, the biodiversity on the green roofs is not something we are talking about, but it is really very diverse. For example, there are butterflies there in the very city center. So this is the potential for green roofs in terms of biodiversity. Standards are very crucial for keeping the quality, and they help us with the development of the market. And besides this, there are many other guidelines we published. We publish on our website, so you can download it and read it. There are some final images related to green roofs. In principle, we need to distinguish between the commercial and private residential buildings. The public one and the commercial one should be much more regulated, and the private one should be promoted. Of course, at the national level, the green roofs should be supported and included in adaptation strategies and based on the national legislation. And principles of smart support is there are some clues. First of all, we have to know why do we support it, at what level, etc. And this is based on these measures that should be applied in a particular city. Second, we have to motivate first and then regulate, because without motivation there is no action. Third, we have to distinguish between new buildings and reconstructions. What's crucial is that we have to make the old buildings green, because it will save us. So we have to promote it. Fourth, simplicity and complexity at the same time. So we have to think about other fields, whether it is water management or climatology. And the fifth is be an example, be a role model. It means that the best way is to do it on my own house and to show it. Sixth, the process, not the outcome. The progress is not an instant thing. It is great to be in touch with other fields and not to expect instant outcomes. And seventh, it's maintenance. It is very important to maintain green roofs, as everywhere, everything, you have to change oil in your car, everything needs to be maintained, the greenery, so you have to count with it. Thank you very much. In case of questions, feel free to ask me at the coffee break. Thank you very much. This was Pavel Dostál. Questions? There is a hand. Thank you very much. We sell green roofs on the northern part of Slovakia. Construction industry is quite a hard business. There are many questions there, whether it is beneficial. In Slovakia, there are not so many supporting programs in Slovakia as in Czech Republic. Is there a positive lobby that makes a push that pushes on the organizations how to make this stress? In my experience, the best is showing good examples, because the pressure makes a counter pressure. There are buildings that are innovative and they attract these examples. So you have to show that it can be done in a quality way. We had green roofs. When we showed them the green roofs, the representatives of local governments were attracted. So this conference is also a great way how to show. Of course, you have to knock on the door and show these examples, and you still have to think of other possibilities, how to deal with a certain problem, how to include other fields into it. So I guess that the authorities will be glad. Another question? I liked the beginning of your paper. There was a quantification of the meter square of green roofs, and then we looked at different cities, different states, and their support. Considering the discussion and the data collection, did you think about the ratio where a certain support really worked, depending on the meter squares, and also other benefits like cooling, average temperature in the city, or the percentage of rainwater detention? And with this ready-made solution, you can say this is the golden standard, this works the best. Where it is, I cannot say that I know something like that in Czech Republic. I think that nobody is doing this. This is the correct approach. Maybe I would point out on Austria from Vienna. we have Elizabeth Gruchman here and other representatives, because I know that Austria is a racing horse here. Greenpass company was a pioneer in this field because they can quantify the benefits of several types of greenery, whether it's vertical, horizontal, climbing or non-climbing, or a green facade or a green roof, and how it is influenced, what impact does it have to the surrounded environment. So we need to know what is the climatic potential. We have to see how the building is impacting the neighborhood, etc. So these several different models of greening can help us, and we can also use some software tools. So we are short in time, so coffee break again. Okay, we have Mr. Yanni from the Ministry of Environment, and everybody wants to talk about subsidy. I would like to ask you, what's up?
Thank you very much. When it comes to a new program period that has been running from 2021 to 2027, people that work in this area, they know that this operational program hasn't been approved yet, and we will have the program Slovakia, and it will be the only one in Slovakia. Currently, we only have approved the document that is in hierarchy, it's more like it's over it, and it's between the government office and the European Commission, and we also had support secured for the green infrastructure, and we count with the fact that we will have the support of the green infrastructure or change of climate. We will have this in the new program period. It will be in the specific target number 2 of the program Slovakia, and it will be the target 2.5. The program has not been approved yet, but if it will be approved as it is currently drafted, it will be drafted within the target 2.5. Thank you. And I would just like to add, if I understand it correctly, part of funds shall come from the Ministry of Environment, and another will be under
Ministry for Investments.
Ministry for Investments. And yes, I would like to add that this stands, and within the Ministry of Environment, we also have divided within the adaptation to the change of climate. We, as I mentioned, this will be devoted to the cities and villages, and within the 2.7 infrastructure program, this will be intended on green infrastructure in the country, in the landscape. Thank you, and I'm giving back the mic to professional Pavel Dostál. Thank you very much. You can say that everything is being prepared.